Hey, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachakodash. This is Sinal, and now we're coming back with another lesson, man. We just want to kind of just go into how Yahweh's vision in the earth with these earthquakes and with these storms. In this thing of ours, as long as we've been in this truth, I've been in it, right at 10 years or more. And we're starting to see more and more destruction, more and more judgment coming from different avenues that the Most High has for these people, man. And one of those avenues is these storms. A lot of times, these people watch these weather reports, and they're looking at the carnal, scientific aspects of things. They don't realize that it's the Most High that's orchestrating all of these events that are happening around the planet Earth. And all of it is, the scriptures talk about how it's the beginning of sorrows, when you're going to see more earthquakes in diverse places, storms, and people losing their lives and their livelihood to these storms and to these earthquakes, man. And so we rejoice in it, when these things happen, because we know the end is nigh. The end is nigh upon these people, man, as far as the destruction of Babylon the Great. So we're just going to grab a couple scriptures. We got a couple articles just kind of going into it. We don't want to belabor the point. But we can start off in second Ezra 9 and 1.
Okay. Want to give a double honors too?
We want to give double honors to the elders that rule well. Peace and blessings to you brothers out there preaching this word of sincerity and truth. It's lucky for not mentioning that.
Second Ezra chapter 9 verse 1, it says, "He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself."
Right, and that's what we're here to do. That's what the prophets are doing, man. We're looking out and we're watching. Whether it's current events, whether it's news and politics, geopolitical events, even just mentioning, like I said, the topic, even the weather and the patterns of the pattern of the weather and things that are happening, man. So it says, measure the time diligently in itself, man. Go ahead.
It says, "And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made."
Right, and that's what we're looking forward to, for the Yahweh to make his return with power and might on the earth and commence full judgment on the planet Earth, and the culling that's going to happen to this place, where millions of people are going to be destroyed by the power of the Lord. But within that, there's prophecies that have to be fulfilled, and a part of those prophecies is these storms that are coming to this place, and these earthquakes that are coming to this place more frequently. Okay? Go ahead.
Continuing on, 2 Ezra 9 and 2, it says, "Then shalt thou," verse 3, it says, "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning."
Right, and that's what we're seeing, man. We're seeing all of these earthquakes happening more frequently and all around the world. Whether we just had an earthquake that happened over in California, there's been earthquakes over in Europe, whether it was in India and Italy and different parts of the world. And so it's happening more and more and more frequently, man. All right, and it's a beautiful thing. Now, it's also the scripture also talks about how there's uproars of the people, and we're seeing that in the valley of Jehoshaphat as we speak now. Things are starting to ramp up. We just watched this video of this Jake woman mad at Trump, calling him racist. People protesting, fighting in the streets over silly matters or really important matters, and these things are going to keep happening, and it's going to get heightened. Okay. Go ahead.
Let's see, verse 5, it says, "For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works."
Right. So, everything has a beginning and an end, and so the end times have a beginning. Okay. The end times have a beginning. Actually grab that in Matthew's 24.
Okay.
24 and 7. The end times have a beginning. There's going to be things that are going to show you that the end is happening. We're in that time right now where, you want to talk about the end of the world as you know it is happening before your very eyes. And one of those signs is all of these natural disasters, so to speak. Okay.
All right, Matthew chapter 24, verse 7, it says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom."
And that's what we see now. Nations are rising against nation. This nation is battling this nation. These people are arguing with these people. There's more and more tension in the waters. You know, more and more standoffs, so to speak. Proxy wars. You know, false flag events are happening as we speak. Okay, go ahead.
It says, "And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places."
Yes, so there's be famine, pestilence, okay, and earthquakes in diverse places, man. Matter of fact, read that again, huh?
Okay, Matthew 24 and 7, it says, "For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places."
Right, and so we're starting to see that more and more. Even, you know, you got Walmart not able to put food on shelves. You know, all of these different events are happening, and it seems like nothing to the average Joe Blow American or citizen of the planet Earth, but to the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we see that is prophecy happening before your very eyes, commencing itself. It's going on. It's living. It's breathing. Okay. So I want to read this one article really quickly. This is It says, this is an article on CBS News. It says, "Life-threatening flood threatens Louisiana as Barry moves inland." All right, so you just had the first hurricane hit Louisiana this past week. Okay, it said the tropical storm Barry continued to dump large amounts of rain as it made its way over Louisiana on Sunday, causing heavy floods and knocking out power for thousands of people along the Gulf Coast. Now, when you watch the video they said over 100,000 people lost power, man. Okay, and that's light work. That Barry wasn't even a big, you know.
That was a category 1, right?
Yeah, it wasn't even a big hurricane, you know. So you're gonna see more and more of this. Okay, it says the storm largely steered clear of New Orleans, but rainfall elsewhere in the state could reach up to 20 inches in some areas. Barry made landfall in Louisiana on Saturday and weakened into a tropical storm. It's expected to further weaken from a tropical depression later Sunday. Okay? It says hundreds of thousands without power in Louisiana. Thousands in Louisiana and Mississippi are without power, for the acting administrator of FEMA has urged area residents to stay inside. Power outage .us reports that over 818,000 people in Louisiana have lost power. Mississippi is currently experiencing over 5,000 power outages, right? So, you know, this is the Most High visiting the planet Earth, man, via storms, okay? Grab that in Isaiah, I believe 29:6, and I believe there's another one in 28.
All right, so Isaiah 29:6. It says, "And thou shalt be visited of Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and with great noise, with storm and tempest."
Right. So when you see those events happening, man, that's Yahweh Shem Yahushua visiting the earth, man. Okay, it's not some random jet stream of winds coming in like Esau likes to teach in school. The Most High set all of that up, man. He set it up to put those people in disarray via those storms and those weather events, man. Okay, so don't get it twisted. The Most High is in control of all of that. Get Isaiah 28:2.
Okay, Isaiah chapter 28, verse 2. It says, "Behold, Yahweh hath a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing."
Right, and then this article said how the water was going to reach up to 20 feet. You know how high that is, man? You know?
Damn. That's like Olympic swimming pool is 10 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like 2 Olympic swimming pools of depth right there.
Right, in the whole state. Not city, a whole state, man. Just underwater.
Damn. was it 1 story is 8 feet, something like that. So that's 3 stories, 3 stories worth of water, man. Damn.
You know, and that was just a category 1, man. That wasn't nothing, man. But more and more of this is going to happen, not just here in Babylon, but around the world, because of the Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He's judging the nations with all types of manner of pestilences, famines, storms, and it's just going to keep going, man. Okay, because of all the wickedness in this place, man. This world is ruled in complete wickedness. So the Most High is going to touch the planet with destruction, with many different vehicles. Okay? Go ahead. You had a precept?
No, I was just looking around. I did have a precept. I did have a precept in Sirach 39 though.
Okay.
Because I know we brought out 2nd Ezra 9:1. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read that again, and I'll get that in Sirach 39. This is 2nd Ezra 9:1. It says, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest." Well, okay, I'll get that part right there. Measure thou the time diligently in itself. So, pursuant to that part of that scripture is Sirach 39:1. It says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies." And so the reason why we know that the things that are happening in these modern times, you know, the news outlets that we have that we watch, and we're able to interpret that in from what's said in the Bible is because we're occupying prophecies.
That's right.
We know what's written in the scriptures, because before we came in, you know, to the knowledge, we didn't know that the things that were going on, you know, right now were biblical, you know, that we're actually living out and fulfilling prophecy as we speak. Okay, because earthquakes been going on and wars have been going on, but not to this extent. You know, me and the brother was talking about it earlier. I was asking him, I was like, man, is this like normal? Like all these earthquakes is going on? And he was like, no way this is normal. You know, because I mean, if you look at the amounts of earthquakes, just even in America, not even just counting like all over the world, just talking about in America. I mean, there's a reason why these natural disasters are hitting the news like that, because it's not normal, you know. So I want to get that one, and then let me see. Do you want me? We finished that in Matthew 24. Do you want to get that? Want me to get that in Mark?
Yeah, bring that out. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see, Mark 13. All right. So this is Mark 13:8. Which seems like this is a parallel scripture, but it's Mark 13:8. It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrows." So this is how we know that Jacob's trouble is on the rise, okay, that is to come, because it says these are the beginnings of sorrows. And then it talk about, I don't think it mentions this in Matthew. It says, "And there shall be famines and troubles." So famines are coming too, by the way. We see, you know, we bring it out all the time how there's a lack of, of U.S. crops that have been planted, or that are, you know, that are going to be able to produce food for the citizens of the United States. That's okay. So that's going to eventually lead to what? To lead to a famine. Okay. Matter of fact, the brother posted on the chat earlier today that Walmart is not carrying certain goods because there's basically a lack of supplies. Okay, so they're already cutting off certain things, and it's only going to get more and more intense as we progress. All right, you don't see Walmart posting like basically banners or posters of, oh, we ran out of this item, because it's a canned good they ran out of. So it's just going to show you, man, this stuff is coming up. I guess we can get that in Psalms 83.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Grab that Psalms 83 and then 1. And I'm gonna read this article right here. This is because there was an earthquake that happened on 4th of July, which is a holiday that you dumb Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans celebrate, where you celebrating Esau's reign over you like some fucking morons. When your stupid ass was in captivity, man, on that date. Esau was whipping your back, butt breaking you, man, feeding your children to alligators, you know, having you pick cotton, and all other types of madness, man. you was in completely disarray, man.
Yeah, Independence Day comes from Esau being broken off from the British influence, you know, because they were a British colony originally.
Yeah, because they didn't want to pay them all them damn taxes, man. But guess what Esau doing? You didn't do in your ass, man.
Getting taxes like a motherfucker.
All manners of usury. On every goddamn thing, man.
Yeah, everything, man.
And you dumbasses, man, go celebrate that shit. Damn. Buck dancing.
Jake don't know, boy. Jake don't know what he don't know what to celebrate. Gotta celebrate something.
You know? Yeah. But yeah, so this earthquake happened on the 4th of July. It said earthquake, it said 4th of July earthquake won't delay the big one. Okay, this is from the Los Angeles Times, man. It says, and it might have worsened the earthquake strain or the quake strain. So what they say is that when an earthquake happens over there, that it like kind of it makes it to where it lightens the load per se. Like basically, okay, we got the earthquake out of the way. Okay, so now it's gonna chill out. But what they saying with this time is that no, it's gonna make things worse. Okay, it says, does a good-sized earthquake help relieve pent-up seismic stress? Does that postpone the day of reckoning when the big one finally arrives? That was the question some in California were asking, hopefully in the wake of the 4th of July magnitude 6.4 earthquake that rattled the region. The answers, like so many when it comes to seismology, are unsettling. Yeah. It's wishful thinking to imagine that as a rule, earthquakes relieve seismic stress, said seismologist Lucy Jones. In fact, generally speaking, earthquakes actually increase the risk of future quakes. The reality is coming into focus as Southern California experienced its largest earthquake in nearly 2 decades, ending a quiet period in the state's seismic history. Does an earthquake immediately relieve seismic stress, forestalling a future big quake? No. Think about what generally happens after a decent earthquake. Aftershocks. Lots and lots of aftershocks. It's going on right now in the area around the 4th of July magnitude 6.4 earthquake in the Mojave Desert, close to Ridgecrest, a town of 29,000 notable for being a pit stop for mammoth-bound skiers from LA. Okay, so we see that they know that more and more of this is going to happen, man. And that was prophesied by Yahushua, that these earthquakes are going to happen. That was going to be the beginning of sorrows, man. So it's beautiful. All right.
It seems like Esau downplaying the numbers too, because remember I don't know if you remember the original report. It was 7.1. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 7.1, and then I think the following day they said 6.9. Now it's 6.4. Esau messing around with the numbers, man. You know what I mean? You don't think nobody noticing, but anyway, we ultimately know that ultimate earthquake is going to come by way of the thermonuclear missiles.
That's right.
Okay. That's right. The reason why I said that is because there's a scripture that backs that up. I'll pull it up real quick. In Joel, the 2nd chapter. And let me see here. I'll read verse 9, because we know Joel, the 2nd chapter, is talking about the day of the Lord and the missiles basically terrorizing Babylon the Great. So Joel chapter 2 and 9 says, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows of the thief. Talking about the thermonuclear missiles, how they're going to enter into every city in America. Because 200 million missiles, man, that's more than enough to feed America with fire, man. Okay? It says, the earth, verse 10, the earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark. The stars shall withdraw their shining. All right, so you really think, what was that? LA and whatever the surrounding cities was bad. No. Wait till you see that them thermonuclear missile damage, man. Okay? Because that's really gonna stir things up. It's gonna change the geological features of this mug, man.
Yep.
Okay? Forever. There's gonna be a desert after that.
That's right.
You know?
The missiles gonna hit, man. Water's gonna come flowing in, man. You might see the polar ice caps melt. All types of stuff can happen, man.
All types of stuff, man. You see what the Lord did with the world after the flood? Because we know that before the flood, I'll say like that, Pangea, all the continents and countries, they were all together in one, conglomeration. And then the Lord, he opened up the springs from below the waters. He opened up the floods of the heaven and spread those countries out, man. Spread those continents out. So imagine how bad this is going to be.
Yep.
Just imagine, man.
Right.
Jake, you got to keep all that stuff in mind.
Right. The earth was more dense at that time, man.
Mm-hmm.
Men were stronger. The earth probably spin on the faster axis, all types of stuff, man. You had to have stronger bones. Mm-hmm. You had to be built larger. The gravity was different. Mm-hmm. So, the Lord could do all types of stuff, man. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Kind of.
Yeah.
That was Psalms 83.
Yeah. Start verse 1.
Okay.
I'm just going to read on down.
All right. This is Psalm chapter 83, verse 1. It says, "Keep not thou silence, O our power. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O Most High." So this is back in Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 2. It says, "O Yahweh, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save." All right, so we're asking the Most High to save us because we see all of the violence is going on in the world, and we know that eventually it's going to come to his elect. Okay, it talks about that in Matthew, the 24th chapter. I believe that was in the 8th verse, where it talks about how we're going to be delivered up into the hands of our enemies. Yep. Okay, so we know that we're in danger because we're preaching salvation of the hated nation, the nation of Israel, which is what it shows that Israel is hated in Psalms 83. So I just want to get that real quick, but we can go back to Psalms 83.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Psalms 83 and 2, it says, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones."
Mm-hmm. And that's what we're seeing with these elites and these other nations, man, and 2/3 of our own people, man. They hate the Most High. They hate what these scriptures have to say. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so judgment is gonna go forth, and we're gonna read about it. We're gonna keep going and read about that, man. And part of that judgment is these storms that are coming to this place, man. Okay. Go ahead, Art.
Verse 4, it says, "They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance."
And they thought they accomplished that, but through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the prophets, the voice of the Most High is going out and teaching that we are the Israelites, man. Mm-hmm. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, here, the bulk of them are here in America and across the four corners of the earth. Y'all the Israelites, and the Most High is bringing us back into remembrance, and it's a beautiful thing, man. But Esau and these other nations try to cut that off. They try to tell you black, you Latino, you Mexican, you this, you that. Okay, so you're under their spell. But hey, that's not the plan of the Most High. Go ahead.
It says, verse 5, "For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
Mm-hmm.
The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Mm-hmm.
Assur also is joined with them.
Mm-hmm.
They have holpen the children of Lot."
Mm-hmm.
Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, as to and at the brook of Kishon, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes as Zabah, and as Zalmunna,
mm-hmm.
who said, "Let us take to ourselves the houses of the Most High in possession."
Right. So all these other nations have made a confederacy against the nation of Israel to keep us low, man. To keep us low. But hey, through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, this is going to come to naught. The Lord is going to defend the nation of Israel and keep his promise he made to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? Go ahead.
It says, verse 13, "O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble for the wind, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire, so persecute them with thy tempest."
So persecute them with thy tempest. Okay? It says persecute them with thy tempest, man. And that's what we're seeing with all these storms around the earth, man. These people being persecuted by the Lord, by the power and hand of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Go ahead.
God. It says, verse 15, "So persecute them with thy tempest and make them afraid with thy storm."
And make them afraid with thy storm, man. And that storm's going to come from many different directions. One, with those natural disasters. We talked about these hurricanes. You're going to see tornadoes. You're going to see earthquakes. You're going to see tsunamis. You're going to see torrential rain, floods. It's like we were reading
Psalms 83. I just finished reading Psalms 83 and 15.
Just finish 15, and then we'll jump to Nahum 1,
All right.
2.
All right.
That's all I had up.
All right. This is Psalms 83, verse 15. "So persecute them with thy tempest and make them afraid with thy storm."
Right, and that's what we're seeing, man. We're seeing these people put in disarray with all these storms and these tempests, these earthquakes, because the Lord is doing that. He's sending that to go forth throughout the planet Earth, man. And people's houses get destroyed, communities getting destroyed. Okay, and it's gonna get worse and worse and worse and worse, man. Because of all the wickedness on the planet. Okay, and then I just wanted Nahum 1 and 2. Okay. I think 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. It says, Nahum 1, verse 2. "The Most High is jealous, and Yahweh revengeth. Yahweh revengeth and is furious. Yahweh will take vengeance on his adversaries."
He's going to take vengeance on his adversaries. And who is his adversaries? Who are the enemies of the Most High? Grab that, Job 27:7. Real quick.
Job chapter 27, verse 7 says, "Let mine enemy be as the wicked."
Yeah, let my enemy be as the wicked. All right, you wicked people are the adversaries of the Most High, man. Go ahead.
It says, "And he that riseth up against me as the unrighteous."
That's right, man. Those are against the prophets of the Yahweh Shem Yahushua that go against the words of this book and that live deliciously in carnality with the world. You're the enemy of the Most High. You're the adversary of the Most High, and the Most High is furious. He's furious with you.
Yep.
Okay, and he's going to bring down terror, and one of those ways of bringing down terror is with these storms. Okay, to destroy your livelihood and destroy you. Okay.
Yep. I got it going real quick.
Go ahead.
This is Numbers chapter 16, verse 31. "And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses and all the men that appertained unto Korah and all their goods. They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation."
Man, that's crazy that if you've been able to see that in real life, man, you've been like, oh, goodness. Because you knew it was the Most High that did that, man.
Yep.
And that's how this is going to culminate. They're going to know that the Most High did it. It ain't going to be no, well, we're just checking the seismic activity and what we see is we're expecting no, you're going to know that it was a power from on high that caused all of this destruction, man.
That's right. That's right.
But you heard it from the prophets before it happened, man. But none of you people going to take heed. That's why you're going to be destroyed. And that's a beautiful, beautiful account of how the Lord just opened up the earth with an earthquake, swallowed them up, and closed it back up again, man.
Okay. Yeah, because Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, and those that followed him, they were basically rebelling against the authority the Most High set up, which was Moses, you know, and the Most High set up order for a reason. It shows you that the Most High deals with order, man. You know, in the nation, within the nation. Back in Nahum chapter 1 verse 3, it says Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. Yahweh hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet.
Right. And that's also talking about the chariots as well. But also in these storms and tempests, man, the Lord's going to destroy. They're going to destroy a lot of you people, man. And it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah. One thing about a storm that's so humbling is that it's the outside elements that you can't control that you're in. You're like, it's like you in a snow globe, and the Most High just shake it up. You can't escape that snow globe, but you're in there, and whatever happens in there it happens to you.
That's why people get so afraid, man, because they know it's outside of their control.
Yep. That's why Esau gonna when the missiles come, man, Esau's gonna have to flee. He's gonna have to go to the underground bunker. You can't fight against that. The elites, I'll say like that, they go to the underground bunkers. But even if what they say do, if you see a tornado or a severe storm, well, a tornado, you go to your basement, you know, because you can't do nothing but take shelter. So that's what's coming, man.
That's it. That's right. Do you have anything else?
Nah, that was it, brother.
Hey, with that, we want to give our praise, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash.
Double honors to the elders that rule well. Peace and blessing to you, brothers out there preaching his words, sincerity, and truth. Shalom.
Shalom.